Good evening, people. It's good to see you guys. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's got a good start to their week happening. And I hope everybody's looking forward to this week. This should be a pretty eventful week in the case. And yeah, what is everybody talking about right now? I missed Tom's stream this morning because I was I am in the midst right now of a very strange sleeping and workout habit. I don't know why, but it is very strange. And I don't know what Este's being bullied. Okay. Dude, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been on Twitter. I mean, I've kind of scrolled through it here and there, but because I can still see shit, you know. But I don't really know exactly like what's going on. I don't know. Sean, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
X Muffin Man says you need a reaction button for your face on Fred Rogers giving the middle fingers. Okay, thanks, buddy. Nobody tells DJ Request what to play. No. I mean, man, I just throw shit together. I don't know. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, man. If I'm being totally honest. Here's my take on this. On the little that I know. Keep in mind, I don't really know what's going on. But if Este's getting hate, when I was on Twitter, I never saw her say anything mean or disrespectful to anyone. So I don't know why that would be. Oh my goodness, Shanna Shea, welcome to the hoity-goity. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen her say anything mean to anybody. I've never seen her be mean to anybody in my chat. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. What's the problem? I know that so I mean, yeah, she was this is all so conveniently happening, it seems like, right after she sat inside the courtroom for the last hearing. And has gained quite a bit of popularity. And the funny thing is, you know, everybody already knew who she was. They just weren't talking about her quite as much. But we all knew who she was because she was doing solo standouts in front of the State House. She's been posting really insightful and kind things on Twitter in regards to Karen Reed and people in who are supporting Karen Reed. I mean, so if I had to guess, that just set some people off, man. Just her sitting in the courtroom looking good, looking better than all those nasty, disgusting, ratchet, fucking leather-faced, meth fucking headed, trashy, fucking jealous, hating, fat fucking bimbos. And I'm not fat shaming, by the way. I'm talking about one particular, because I did see one particular brand of hate towards Esty. Apparently, she was wearing like a gold jacket, and canceled Karen just had to chime in. My old buddy, you guys know her as the Critical K. And so she decided to chime in and start shitting all over because she was wearing what a loud coat. It was like gold. So okay. Like I don't get it, dude. But the thing is like if you just like any still shot you ever capture of canceled Karen, her hair looks like she lives inside of a steam room, and her fucking she looks like she looks like they keep fucking big old jars of Crisco in the fucking steam room, and that's what she lives off of. She just sits there chained in the steam room, and she's just taking Crisco and that's what cancel Karen looks like to me. Like just some frizzy haired old Crisco lady. And she's talking about how people look. That shit makes no sense to me, bro. That makes no
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Period, full stop. Thank you so much. Ozzy, I think, speculated Higgins Sallyport video being released by Brennan despite absent from first trial. Is a consensus from McAlberts to throw Brian Higgins under the bus. Thoughts? Let me try to understand this a little bit better. Speculated Higgins Sallyport video being released by Brennan despite absent from first trial. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a theory. It's a theory, but the thing is like, as I understand it, the Sallyport video, they were trying to get that in discovery for like ever. They just couldn't get it. And then finally they got it after the first trial, even though they filed motions to get it because it is part of discovery, and they should have got it in the first trial, before the first trial. But I don't know. I'm not. That sounds a little far-fetched, but everything sounds far-fetched in this case. So I'm not going to like dismiss your comment as something that's unbelievable, because everything in this case is unbelievable, and I wouldn't put it past them. But the thing is this is an interesting thought in the sense that if Karen Reed, when Karen Reed walks, people are still going to want justice for Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe. I'm still going to want justice for Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe, much less people who love him, know him, people who have been fighting this whole time, people who have been jailed for fighting for justice for Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe are still going to want justice for him. And the fact is based on the evidence that we're privy to, meaning the public, based on that evidence, I'd say Brian Higgins is definitely the person. And in lieu of period full stop super chat and their comment, what they say there, if their behavior in the first trial reflects that of people who have been actively and collectively trying to protect Colin Albert, as people speculate that they were, if that is true, then it would absolutely make sense that, okay, next person to throw under the bus, Higgins. But the problem is Higgins can throw all of them under the bus. So that's a pickle, folks. Oh, look, there's Esty. Oh, just got a message to show proof of life. Love you all and been overwhelmed. Well, all the support and kindness. Okay, cool. Glad to see you're doing well. Awesome. So there you go, folks. Esty's good, y'all. Esty's good. Y'all just calm down. So yeah, it would make sense to me that they would. I mean, he would be the most logical person to throw under the bus, considering that, I mean, A, I think he fucking did it. And B, the evidence dictates that he was the most likely person to have done it. He's the one with the motive. He's the one on video, the only person on video being aggressive towards John O'Keefe. And the problem with that is, at the very least, Chris Albert is going to have to explain why he lied on the stand and said everything was cool. Everybody just said bye and left the waterfall. Completely disregarded and completely left out the little part where he had to practically physically restrain Brian Higgins. So I'm definitely of the opinion that Brian Higgins is the number one aggressor. When it comes to the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe on the morning hours, January 29th, 2022. I believe that. I believe that he had help, because I don't believe that anybody else would cover for him. Excuse me. I don't believe that anybody else would cover for him unless it were for these two reasons. Oh, what's up, Monty? Monty from Hannibal and Monty's in the house, people. First of all, got to drop one of Clue's bombs. And we got to give him a round of applause just for being here, because that's my homie right there. And ow.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
The Goodmans, thank you so much. For you, SD, the Goodmans. The Goodmans, that's very sweet. I'm just not sure how you know how super chats work. But yeah, that's totally a super chat for Esty. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome to see Monty. We definitely got to plan another show soon. Now, yeah, I'm my money is definitely on Higgins being he he went over to the house. I think he went over to that house with the intention of confronting Boston police officer John O'Keefe, confronting him. Most definitely.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare we?
Thank you, Jeff David. I appreciate you, buddy. So real quick before I continue, guys, do me a favor, real quick. Go over there. Don't disrupt his chat, please, but I want you to stop what you're doing and go give Brian LTL a like. If you haven't, if you weren't over there already, because he's got Nan on there, LaFerio, and her and I have been talking. We're setting something up in the near future. We just don't know when just yet. But we're in contact with each other. But she's over there on Brian LTL right now. So make sure to give Brian LTL's stream a like. Okay. And I just got a Cash App from Jeff. Jeff sent $20 to ask me to let everyone know whoever is bullying Esty to fuck off. So there you go, buddy. Yeah, anybody who's bullying Esty can go fuck themselves. That's some bullshit. Goodmans for Will. We know how it works. Thank you, the Goodmans. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I man, that shit really just gets on my nerves. Cause like I'll bully motherfuckers, dude, but it's because they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? They're assholes. You know, like show me one thing where, you know, it doesn't make sense to me, man. I don't know. People are fucking dickheads. So yeah, anybody who's doing that, fuck off. You guys suck. And it's just so funny, man. Like people are like, they act like they accomplished something by reporting my shit on Twitter and getting me kicked off. You realize that like on Twitter, if I like tweet something, you know, some really, really great burn, right? If I tweet a really, really good burn to one of you fucking dumbass trolls, you know, like I maybe get, you know, I'll get like, I don't know, at best, like, I don't know, 300 likes on it. You know what I'm saying? Few views, few more views than that. Nobody gives a shit. But now I'm just forced to like troll you motherfuckers here. You know what I mean? I got a way bigger audience here. I got way more reach here. I only use the Twitter to promote this. Like the Twitter is a YouTube commercial for me, bro. That's all Twitter was. Twitter was a Glare channel, Glare's YouTube channel commercial. That's all that shit was. So like if I want to, I could pull up Twitter like right now. If I wanted to. I'm not saying this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to spend my stream today, but I might just do that. I might just do a whole fucking stream where I just fucking where I could just scroll down this asshole's fucking shit, read it off, and rant on the stupidity that's posted here. If I wanted to. What do you think's more effective? Blocking me on Twitter where I can't make a comment, and just a comment, like a comment in somebody else's thread, shit, man, that gets like that I'll get maybe like 20 likes on some shit like that. Who gives a fuck about that? You know what I mean? Nobody sees that shit. Nobody sees it. But here, I could fucking hyper focus on your shit here. And then I could just make sure that you spend, a good hour blocking people. I could absolutely do that. And all I have to do is point out how much of a fucking jackass you are. That's all I have to do. And this is just a drop in the bucket. Critical K is just a drop in the bucket of idiots on Twitter that I've come to know in the past year that I can focus my energy on. I could still see all their tweets. Like, I could absolutely do this if I wanted to. Why not? Is that what I'm going to have to do? Feels like that's what I'm going to have to do. And I love it. I love the people, because here, let me give you in advance, those of you who are going to say, oh, well, if you give them attention, you're just giving them more attention and you're feeding into it, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Don't worry about it. Don't worry what the fuck I do. This is what I've been doing. I've been doing this shit for like 5 years. That's one thing that I've never done, though. Really. Like, I've gone over a couple of Twitter things here and there while I'm live. I never spend a lot of time on it. Maybe I'll just do a whole fucking stream just roasting these idiots and all their stupidity that they post. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like I'm no longer on Twitter, right? You remember that movie Shaft, where they said, you can't do nothing. You ain't a cop no more. And his response was, do you think that makes me less dangerous or more dangerous? What do I have to lose on Twitter now? Because here I could say whatever the fuck I want. The only question is whether or not a company will sponsor the stream. I lose ad revenue all the time. That shit's nothing to me. I don't give a fuck about ad revenue. Never giving a fuck about ad revenue. I'm never gonna give a fuck about ad revenue. I can't say that. I reserve the right to decide one day that I care about ad revenue. I reserve the right to do that. But chances are I probably won't. Chances are I probably will never give a fuck about ad revenue. But I can sit here and criticize the shit I'm reading on Twitter all fucking day. It's just that easy. It's that easy. Now, what I wanted to go over, because I'm going to open the phones in a little while too. Like, we're going to hang out a little bit tonight. But I'm going to open the phones a little while. But before I do that, and before I go over, I'm going to go over this response to the defense's motion for them to fucking cough up some fucking money for having the defense's expert fly all the way out to Canton, fly all the way out to Boston, and then go out to Canton Police Department just for Colleen Crawford to act stupid. So yeah, before I go over Hank Brennan's response to that bullshit, well, that's not bullshit. I'm saying Hank Brennan's bullshit response to that. I am going to just let me go over this real quick. This is completely off the subject. I saw this and I lost my shit. I laughed so hard when I first saw this.
A Cairns mother has been forced to block dozens of calls after her ex-partner allegedly took her phone number and plastered it on poles here around the CBD, telling people to call up and impersonate.
Okay. So there's a breakup. Guy's jaded. So he takes, you know, those flyers that you make. You know those flyers that you make, like, let's say you start a house cleaning business and you leave them in, like, you know, youth centers and shit, community bulletin boards, where it's like, and you have it cut up to where you just tear off a phone number to where you have the phone number. So now this is like 4 years old. I just saw this and I lost my shit when I saw this. So this guy takes his ex-girlfriend's phone number, and he does this with it.
And plastered on poles here around the CBD, telling people to call up and impersonate Chewbacca for a chance to win $100.
This would be the most childish breakup I've ever had. Like, all he had to do was be mature and go, I don't love you anymore, I want to move on.
The calls have been waking her and her 3 young children up at odd hours in the evening, and they're yet to stop.
I won $400.
Well, I'm getting phone calls at really strange hours of the night, about 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock.
Forced to call back the wannabe Wookiees and tear down the posters.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's the funny. That is the funniest fucking shit I have ever fucking seen in my life. Like, it's hardly malicious. It is master trolling. That is master trolling. Like, there's got to be a little part of that woman that wants him back. There has to be some shred of that poor woman now that wants him back. That's like, fuck, that's why I fell in love with him, because of that shit. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Jesus. Oh my god, man. Dude is a king. Oh, that was fantastic. And I love how he got to stay anonymous through the whole thing. It's just his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, just standing there looking all stupid, like, well, can't you just be mature and just move on, you know? Like, I just picture the dude, like, just sitting there in front of his TV. I picture the guy right now, by chance, seeing this 4 years later and being like, 4 years. And this is the effect. This is the effect. Oh my god, that is so good. Yes, absolute Wookiee love, 100%. Thank you, Jeff David. I appreciate you, buddy. Oh Jesus, that was so funny. Hold on, let me pull this bullshit up. No, cool. Hey, what the? All right, I'm just gonna have to do the best I can, I think. What do you mean you don't get it, Selena? Dude, like he fucking okay, so him and his girl break up. So what he does is he takes her phone number and he makes one of those flyers where you could tear off each phone number and says, whoever can call this number and give the best Chewbacca impression on the voicemail, like gets a chance to win $100. So this lady's voicemail is just blowing up with fucking Chewbacca noises, dude. That's like, yeah. Jesus. You just came in here and pissed in my cereal, dude. Jesus. I'm just kidding. I still think that shit is fucking hilarious. Hold on, here we go. All right, so the Commonwealth's opposition to defendant Karen Reed's motion to recover expert-related expenses from the Commonwealth. Now comes the Commonwealth in the above captioned matter and opposes the defendant's motion to recover expert expenses from the Commonwealth. The defense suggestion that the Commonwealth misled or induced the defendant to incur costs to have an out-of-state expert travel to the Canton Police Department is a distortion of the facts and has no legal merit. What? The Commonwealth requests the court deny this motion without a hearing. The Commonwealth, of course, you don't want a hearing because they'll have to prove it. And they will be able to prove it. The Commonwealth has provided the defendant with numerous videos from the Canton Police Department throughout the entirety of this case. At no time has the defendant ever made a formal preservation request. And what? In November of 2024, the defense made an informal discovery request related to additional Canton Police Department videos. Hold on a second. Now, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at something here. I wish Sleuthy Goosey was in the chat right now because I get the feeling that if that motion from, because I'm of the understanding that there was a motion filed by David Yannetti in regards to that footage. Okay, that's the timeline. Let's see documents. Now, what I'm worried about is that it's filed under something that is just kind of general, like motion for discovery, and then I'm just gonna have to scan all the ones that say that. No, there's not a motion to dismiss yet. Let me see. Wait. Commonwealth's motion for protective order regarding discovery of digital video recordings of sane interview. Okay, hold on. Defense motions in August. Defendant renewed motion to compel discovery. To compel discovery, right? Support defendant's motion to inspect John O'Keefe's clothing. Exhibit list, tail light, housing. Renewed motion to compel discovery. Defendant's emergency motion to compel production request preservation of Google geofence data and confirmation from Google geofence data. This is interesting. Affidavit of counsel, because if it happened, it would be here. Defendant's motion to compel production of materials listed in Commonwealth's notice of discovery. Affidavit of counsel in support of defendant's motion to compel production of materials listed in Commonwealth's notice of discovery. Commonwealth's notice of discovery. See, that's what I'm afraid of. It's under one of those with such general titles. Defendant's motion for preservation of samples for independent forensic. That's specific. Defendant's motion for order pursuant, blah, blah, blah. Regarding circumstances of national, no. Discovery regarding the circumstances of Massachusetts, no. Compel discovery again. Like, look at all these motions to compel discovery. That shouldn't happen. I'm not a lawyer, but that shouldn't happen, I don't think. Like, why shouldn't they just share discovery? Access for independent forensic testing of John's clothing, renewed motion to compel discovery. Another, Jesus, there's so many of these renewed motions to compel discovery. So many. Affidavit of David Yannetti in support of motion for inspection, access to independent testing of pieces of tail light. Okay. Affidavit in support of motion production original photographs complete with metadata. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Affidavit of Richard Green in support of motion for production of original photographs complete with metadata. Motion for production of search warrant and missing ring video foot recordings from One Meadows Avenue. In support of motion for production of search warrant and missing ring video. Okay, that's more One Meadows Avenue stuff. And more discovery stuff. Hold on. And then there's the Verizon stuff. Support defendant's renewed motion to compel discovery. Again, another one. Animal control. Yeah, this goes on into 2023. And someone told me it was somewhere in 2022. I just can't remember the month that they told me. But Hank Brennan may be right. Now, I don't know. Okay. Gatling gun, dystopian approach, David Reese. Thank you so much. The preservation requested order was at our first arraignment. So let's try this. Let's do this for a second. All right. So this is Karen Reed's first court appearance.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm advising you pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 276, Section 58. Should you be charged with a crime or violate a release condition while this case is pending, you could be held in the House of Correction for up to 90 days without bail. Good morning, Mr. Netti. Good morning, Mr. Lally.
Good morning, Your
All right. Mr. Lally.
Honor. With the court permission, could I just pull the mask?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Adam Lally for the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is requesting that the court set a... Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Netti. Good morning, Mr. Lally.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right.
All right, hold on.
Mr. Lally.
Your Honor, with the court permission, could I just pull the mask?
Yes.
I just want to get to
Thank you.
the part
Your Honor, Adam
where
Lally for the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is requesting that the court set a cash bail in this matter in the amount of $50,000.
In addition, Judge, my client suffers from a host of medical issues. From the time that she was 25, she's had multiple serious illnesses diagnosed, beginning in 2005 with colitis,
Mr.
which
Lally.
ultimately led to her colon being completely removed in 2009. She's been in pain for a number of years, and eventually also was diagnosed with MS as well in 2013.
Eat your food, buddy.
Continued to have digestion issues and bowel issues. And this past summer, my client unfortunately was diagnosed with having a brain tumor as a result of migraines that she had never had before. There is still no answer regarding whether that brain tumor is cancerous or not. And I bring this up not for the purpose of evoking any sympathy, but to focus on what the court's inquiry is here today. The inquiry is, what is the likelihood that my client will appear in court for her trial? Does bail need to be set to assure her appearance at trial? And if so, how much bail should be set? Her roots are here. She was born here, she went to school here, she went to college here, and her doctors are here. And in addition, her family is here. Her parents are present in the courtroom, her brother and her sister-in-law are present in the courtroom. And Your Honor, just so the court's aware, I'd like to have a letter that I sent to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office this weekend. It was faxed on Saturday, where I promised that my client would appear if they just called me. All they had to do was notify me, and I wrote right in the letter that she would report to any police barracks or police station or courthouse to which they directed me. They ignored that and instead got an arrest warrant for my client. However, she knew. She had hired an attorney since January 30th, this Saturday, because the police had come and they had taken her phone and they had taken her car. She knew that they were considering her a suspect, rightly or wrongly. And what did she do? They arrested her at the very address that I included in my letter to the Commonwealth, which the Commonwealth ignored. This is relevant, I would assert, Judge, regarding whether she is a flight risk. I think that it doesn't really pass the straight face test. She is not going anywhere. She didn't go anywhere. I frankly don't think they've overcome the presumption of personal recognizance in this case.
Innocent people don't run.
With regard to the facts of the case, Judge, I've read the affidavit that the prosecution has now read. Manslaughter is a tremendous reach in this case. I don't see any incriminating.
Well, there are certain circumstances that I've seen personally that there are exceptions to that rule, but
criminal intent that would justify manslaughter in that affidavit. And there's a reason for that, because there was no criminal intent. This was not some random stranger. This was my client's boyfriend, somebody with whom she was in love, somebody with whom she essentially lived with. And by the way, the police have her phone. At 4:30 in the morning, my client is placing multiple calls to the victim in this case, to her boyfriend, wondering where he is, why he hasn't come home, and getting annoyed with him because his niece, of whom he was a guardian, had to go to bed without saying goodnight to him. She had no idea that he was deceased or that anything had happened. At 5:30 in the morning, she's placing probably about 10 calls to him for the same reason before she now knows something's has to be wrong, because he never stayed out at night without her. If they were ever out at night, they were always together. He had never not come home. And that's when she calls her girlfriend and goes back to the scene and sees this horrific scene.
Yanetti's brilliant, dude. Like, because and this is the reason why I'm letting this play, because folks, this is something that this is when this first happened. Okay. And right now, what I'm seeing is right out of the gate, David Yannetti fighting like hell for his client. Right out of the gate, I'm seeing Karen's family sitting in the courtroom in support of her and haven't missed anything since. Right out of the gate. This is Karen Reed's very first court appearance. And this is what we're seeing. She's maintaining her innocence from the beginning.
So, Your Honor, this is a defensible case. There is no reason for her to run. She's done the opposite. She hired an attorney almost right away. And by the way, there will be substantial issues regarding a motion to suppress statements here. As I put in the letter, and I'd like to, again, have this marked as an exhibit for the bail hearing. As I put in the letter, the police multiple.
This is fascinating because, again, right out of the gate, the cerebral ninja, David Yannetti, Boston defender, he smells something's up. He's like, something's already fucking wrong here. This isn't, oh, let me just, get in there and try to get her bail. Oh, Your Honor, she's nice. She's got a couple health issues and shit. She's, he said everything he needed to say in order to make her not seem like a flight risk. He's already said everything he needed to say as far as that goes. But at this point now, he's expressing, and he doesn't need to, but he's expressing something is fucking up. Something is seriously wrong here. And I intend to find out what it is. We intend to fight this. So this is the whipped cream and cherry on top of his request for bail, meaning like we're not running and we're not going anywhere because we want to find out what the fuck is going on. Period.
Times violated.
Mr. Lally, any objection to the letter committee?
No objection.
All right, thank you. We'll accept it. We'll mark.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the police violated her right to counsel multiple times, Your Honor, and we'll be able to show that at a motion to suppress hearing. Their case essentially comes down to statements because there's no eyewitnesses. There doesn't appear as though there's any video evidence. There's nothing to indicate what actually happened on the day in question. And I think the police sort of acting out of desperation, realizing that they didn't really have much of a case, needed some type of confession from her. She did not give it to them, and yet they questioned her despite the fact that she asked for a lawyer. So the bottom line, Judge, is it's a defensible case. She's not a flight risk, and recognizing the seriousness of the charges, I won't ask for personal recognizance, but I would assert to the court this case does not justify more than a $5,000 cash bail.
Thank you. My guess is you have no objection to the proposed conditions.
Well, the only condition that I would ask to be heard on, Your Honor, is this condition that she not drive. The police and the district attorney's office and the registry of motor vehicles have options to address that issue if they believe that she's an unsafe driver. And I would ask the court not to get involved with that issue.
Thank you. with regard to the conditions, she is ordered not to drive unless licensed or permitted by the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles. I appreciate your argument, Mr. Yannetti, but due to the nature and the circumstances of the offenses charged, specifically 1 and 3, and the potential penalty, I know what your letter says, you're the lawyer, but she has plenty of reason to flee, given the potential penalty. I'm opposing the $50,000 cash. Yes, on the motion, I have Mr. Lally, a motion for preservation of evidence. Have you had a chance to review it?
I have, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to it?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll allow that.
Can I have a date, please?
And just to be clear for the record, with regard to that motion being allowed, Judge, I would ask that it be effective with the court's signature with regard to previous reports that have been filed and anything that's been gathered, and certainly going forward. There should be no destruction of notes going forward in this investigation.
Well, it speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's a preservation of evidence. I just signed it. It's 10:22 a.m. on February 7th. No,
Okay.
do it.
I have, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to it?
I do.
But she has plenty of reason to flee, given the potential penalty. I'm opposing the $50,000 cash. Yes, on the motion, I have Mr. Lally, a motion for preservation of evidence. Have you had a chance to review it?
I have, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to it?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll allow that.
Can I have a date, please?
And just to be clear for the record, with regard to that motion being allowed, Judge, I would ask that it be effective with the court's signature with regard to previous reports that have been filed and anything that's been gathered, and certainly going forward. There should be no destruction of notes going forward in this investigation.
Well, it speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's a preservation of evidence. I just signed it. It's 10:22 a.m. on February 2nd.
This is fascinating.
Mr. Lally,
I love this shit. Like, no destruction of notes. These, like, I want everything. David Yannetti right now is, I want fucking everything.
a motion for preservation of evidence. Have you had a chance to review it?
I have, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to it?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll allow that.
Can I have a date, please?
And just to be clear for the record, with regard to that motion being allowed, Judge, I would ask that it be effective with the court's signature with regard to previous reports that have been filed and anything that's been gathered, and certainly going forward. There should be no destruction of notes going forward in this investigation.
Anything that has anything, literally anything, including the footage for where her car was inspected the night of.
Well, it speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's a preservation of evidence. I just signed it.
The
It's,
judge
10:20.
himself, the judge right there. Now, so if Brennan is trying to argue, well, where does it say that specifically, which I'll get to in a second. But if he's trying to argue, where does it say that specifically? And it doesn't say anywhere specifically. You've got the judge on record right here going, it speaks for itself. The judge is going, it speaks for itself. I mean, Catastrophic 8, thank you so much. When you see Brennan saying they didn't then you see Brennan saying they didn't file, right? That's why I haven't finished reading it. But I want to get through this because this is also this hits different.
22 a.m. on February 2nd. That's when it's effective.
Thank you very much, Ron. In terms of a next date, can I have March 1st, Judge?
Sure. Mr. Lally, that work for you?
All right, now they're just going over. All right. So it goes on to say the Commonwealth has provided the defendant with numerous videos from the Canton Police Department throughout the entirety of this case. At no time has the defense ever made a formal preservation request. Now, hold on a second. Just 1 second here, folks. I've got something right here. And now it's a screenshot, so it doesn't look great, but This is filed February 2nd, 2022. Okay. Now comes the defendant, Karen Reed, hereby, blah, 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 to order the Commonwealth to preserve the following evidence in connection with this matter. All notes of any law enforcement official, police officer, and or state trooper of any and all witness interviews, including any notes of anything the defendant is alleged to have said. The defendant is specifically requesting this court to order that such notes are not to be destroyed upon the completion of police reports. All notes any law enforcement official, police officer, and or state trooper regarding this investigation. The defendant is specifically requesting this court to order that such notes are not to be destroyed upon the completion of police reports. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to go a little off task here, but I want to point out that no notes were ever preserved or ever recovered, or at least never turned into the defense. Ever. They never were. And then, I'm going to have to really lean into this here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. All turret tapes from any local police department and Massachusetts State Police regarding this matter from the first time the police were contacted to the arrest of the defendant. All 911 recordings regarding this matter. So it's right there. Number 3, all trace evidence, including but not limited to fingerprints, DNA evidence, blood, saliva, and other bodily fluids. The defendant is specifically moving this court to order that no exhaustive testing should be performed on any evidence in connection with this case, the Commonwealth giving prior notice to the defendant, allowing the defendant to object. All physical evidence. God, it's really hard to read because I can't scroll. So all physical evidence, including including anything present. Jesus Christ, that sucks. Hold on, let me just read it off of my phone. It's easier that way. All physical evidence, including anything present on or near the descendant at the time his body was discovered, anything found in at the alleged crime scene. So, I mean, this is, as that judge put it, pretty self-explanatory. No? But it says clearly there on number 3, it says all turret tapes from any local police department. That includes the Canton Police Department. Any tapes. And the Massachusetts police regarding this matter. From the first time the police were contacted to arrest the defendant, or contracted to arrest the defendant. Anita, thank you for the Venmo. It was very, very kind. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to, if it's easier for you guys to support that way, man, there's the Venmo icon QR code thing that you can just scan with your phone, whatever. I put it up there so it's easier for you. Because a lot of people have trouble with the super chats or whatever. Or better yet, what you can do is you can donate to Karen Reed's Defense Fund, which I just pinned to the top of the chat. But yeah, I mean, so Hank Brennan is, there's one word to describe exactly what Hank Brennan did here in this motion. And that is he fucking lied. he lied straight up. So it goes on to say, after he lies, it says at no time has the defense ever made a formal preservation request. In November 2024, the defense made an informal discovery request relative to additional Canton Police Department videos. Special Assistant District Attorney Brennan responded on November 25th, 2024, informing the defense that he would inquire of the Canton Police Department and or keeper of the records to attempt to identify any potential chain of custody of footage provided, and would request any documentation that may exist relative to the chain of custody of surveillance video. During the week of December 1st, 2024, ADA Brennan spoke by phone with Attorney Jackson and his co-counsel. Attorney Jackson asked if the Commonwealth would consider allowing a defense expert access to access to the Canton Police Department camera system. See defendant motion, blah, 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 blah. No motion or order had been allowed or even filed relative to this request. ADA Brennan agreed to accommodate the defense's informal request. During the phone call, Attorney Jackson expressed concern that the video footage would no longer be stored, and ADA Brennan acknowledged and shared Attorney Jackson's concern given the passage of time. Attorney Jackson requested the Commonwealth refrain from accessing the system prior to the defense expert's examination. ADA Brennan met with Canton Police Chief Rafferty and received permission for the defense to search for the video. Okay. What in the fuck am I listening to right now? Or what am I reading? Very bizarre. During the phone call, Attorney Jackson expressed concern that the video footage would no longer be stored, and ADA Brennan acknowledged and shared Attorney Jackson's concern given the passage of time. So this guy's painting this picture that him and Jackson were both like, oh, yes, of course, yes. Brennan sitting there, yes, Mr. Jackson, of course. And I share this concern with you in regards to the preservation of the evidence. We want to see justice done. Attorney Jackson requested the Commonwealth refrain from accessing the system prior to the defense expert's examination, which they clearly tampered with it. We already know. ADA Brennan met with Canton Police Chief Rafferty and received permission for the defense to search for the video from the Canton Police Department's DVR system relative to the storage of the defendant's vehicle. Pursuant to Attorney Jackson's request, ADA Brennan directed Chief Rafferty to advise her staff not to disturb the NVR video system prior to the defendant's expert examination. So you guys see what's going on here, right? You see the picture that's being painted here? Chief Rafferty stood out there during roll call or whatever, like they do in the movies, you know? All right, everyone. I want to have everyone's attention, please. Now, an expert for the defense in the Karen Reed case is, oh, come on, stop. Don't do that. Don't start with the whole, come on, no, stop it. Listen, we're here for justice, people. Karen Reed has rights. Now, I want full cooperation with this expert when they come in, and no one at any point, no one, I repeat, no one is to tamper with the DVR at all. No one is to take the evidence and splice it in any way. No one is to take the evidence and invert it in any way. I'm looking at you, Guarino. No one is to do these things, okay? Because Karen Reed has rights. Anybody who violates my request, Chief of Police, Canton Police, anybody who violates this, I will run over their elderly parent with my vehicle. Get the fuck out of my face. It was more like, all right, so there's an expert coming. There's an expert coming for Karen Reed's, right? Yeah, I know. She sucks. For Karen Reed's thing. Listen, they're coming to pick the stuff up, but you know, they're telling us no one is to tamper with it. So I'm here to formally tell you guys no tampering with the DVR before they get here. Come on. Like, everything about the Canton Police Department is fucking dirty. Like, I would not say that shit about the Massachusetts State Police. I still won't go there. I'll say there are dirty people in the Massachusetts State Police for sure, without a doubt. But the head of the snake is fucking venomous, bro. That snake is venomous. That is a venomous snake, the Canton Police Department, because its head would be Chief Rafferty. And I think Chief Rafferty's dirty as fuck. Flamingo Chicky, member for a month. Thank you so much. Oh my God, there's just so many. I got, oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Period, full stop. Thank you again. Goes to pointing fingers at Higgins. Bus. Yeah, true. A Gatling gun, dystopian. Thank you so much. Brennan is a decorated dude. Yes. Charlie Lynn, it already been tampered with. It had already been tampered with. And that's what's really funny is like what Brennan's saying in this motion is fucking futile. It's bullshit. I mean, dude, we want access to the DVR. That's fine. But the problem is that your little 30-day purge story is bullshit. I mean, maybe it's true, but it's not to blame as to why you no longer have that footage, because you extracted that footage so that you can manipulate it. So we want that original footage. ADA Brennan met with Canton Police Chief Rafferty, blah, 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 blah. Pursuant to Attorney Jackson's request, ADA Brennan directed Chief Rafferty to advise her staff not to disturb the NVR video system prior to the defendant's expert examination. ADA Brennan also invited the defense to tour the entire Canton police station and note all camera locations. ADA Brennan informed the defense that the Commonwealth would have a forensic examiner from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and the Massachusetts State Police trooper present, right? The Commonwealth videotaped the procedure to memorialize the event. The defense expert visited the Canton Police Department on December 12th, 2024. Okay, so hold on a second. The Commonwealth videotaped. Now, ADA Brennan informed the defense that the Commonwealth would have a forensic examiner from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and Massachusetts State Police Trooper present. Okay. Commonwealth videotaped the procedure to memorialize the event. So is he saying that there's a videotape of the defense's expert and the Commonwealth's expert, Colleen Crawford, going over this footage? Well, not going over the footage, but touring the entire Canton police station. The defense expert visited the Canton Police Department on December 12, 2024. It was learned at the time, nearly 3 years after the incident, that the footage on the NVR was overwritten and the system no longer maintained the original surveillance footage. Moreover, in efforts to identify video footage in chain of custody, ADA Brennan visited the Canton Police Department, viewed camera locations, and had a discussion with retired Sergeant D. Giampietro. Sergeant D. Giampietro served as the officer who originally obtained and produced video from the Canton Police Department. I'm not going to keep saying that guy's fucking name. The sergeant informed ADA Brennan that he routinely would make a copy of the footage obtained from the NVR and preserve footage on the department's work server hard drive, which is separate from the NVR file system. Prior to its motion for costs, ADA Brennan informed defense counsel during a conference call that the retired sergeant would routinely save video copy from the NVR onto the department's hard drive. ADA Brennan offered to produce a copy of the stored footage from the Canton Police Department's hard drive, or alternatively allow the defense direct access to the hard drive. See, that's not going to work. The defense deferred this offer and has requested further information about the hard drive storage that is forthcoming. The Commonwealth never suggested that nearly 3 years later, on December 12, 2024, that video footage from January 29, 2022 would still be stored on the NVR system, nor did the Commonwealth in any way hinder the defense's desire to have a defense expert view the Canton Police Department NVR. The footage simply no longer exists on the NVR because of the time that has elapsed. Okay, but see, that sounds like a bullshit excuse. He says, therefore, the defendant's motion should be denied without the necessity of a hearing. See, that's why it's a bullshit excuse. It's an absolute bullshit excuse. Because he's saying, well, it's not on the DVR, it's on the hard drive. The problem is that we're talking about a bunch of dirty fucking cops. And we're talking about a Sallyport video that's got gaps in it. And we're talking about a Sallyport video that is inverted. And if the video on that hard drive is inverted and has gaps in it, well, then guess what? The original footage is gone. That means that you disposed of the footage. You did not preserve this evidence, despite the formal motion filed by David Iannetti on February 2nd, 2022. Despite that, now it's gone, which is a good thing. It's great because this is a good look for the defense. It's an excellent look for the defense because it's just another coincidence. Because that video evidence is no good. There's no way for the Commonwealth to prove that they didn't tamper with that video. The only way to definitively prove it, hear that, Trooper Paul? The only way to definitively prove that is by accessing the original footage from the DVR. And the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So right there, this is how this is a game of chess. So now the defense gets to tell the jury it's mysteriously gone. Trooper Buchanan in the last trial stated on that very stand that it wasn't inverted, it was just reversed. He couldn't explain why it was tampered with or why it even appeared to be tampered with. So at this point, Karen Reed's defense team gets to tell that jury, and just another piece of evidence, just like, so the original footage from the DVR is gone conveniently, just like the metadata from the original crime scene photos have disappeared conveniently, just like the blood was stored in red Solo cups because they conveniently didn't have evidence bags to store them in. Brian Albert conveniently just seemed to have butt dialed at 222. Brian Higgins back and forth. Brian Higgins conveniently just forgot what happened because he was drinking, I guess, and what he did at the Canton Police Department. All of these things, I could just go on and talk about these convenient coincidences that have taken place. Jen McCabe's convenient wall file malfunction in her phone at 2:27 a.m. that states how long to die in cold. How convenient. It's the only one that shows up as deleted. Just a coincidence, right? Just a coincidence. The library footage. Also, just a coincidence that that's missing. Just a coincidence. Chloe's gone. Yeah, I know the Commonwealth claims to have found Chloe and gotten an imprint. Produce Chloe. Produce Chloe. That's what I say. Lumpy Oatmeal gifted 5 memberships. Oh. Yeah, man. All of these just such convenient little coincidences that keep taking place. Coincident keys. You like that? Coincident keys? Yeah. I say get Rafferty's phone. But that'll conveniently have disappeared as well. Guaranteed. Everybody's phones are gone. Brian Higgins, Brian Alberts, all coincidence. All coincidence. You know, because we're all fucking crazy, right? Yeah, it's totally already gone.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
me see. There's something else I want to go over here. Oh, my man. Oh, my man, brother counsel did a video today. Here. Stop whatever you're doing right now. And click on this link that I'm dropping in the chat and give brother counsel a like. Give the video a like because I'm going to go over it. Let's hear what brother counsel has to say about this opposition motion. Let me speed it up a little bit too.
In order for him to come down, spend the night in Massachusetts, go to the Canton Police Department, and run through his attempts at downloading the video of the Sally Port. And we all know how important that video is. So now we're going to have Hank Brennan's response why he believes the Commonwealth should not have to reimburse Karen Reed for her expenses and her costs that she spent on this expert. Before we jump into Hank Brennan's response, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Aura. You've heard it before on this channel. Aura is a cybersecurity company that's helping keep your personal data safe in a world where data breaches.
I'm gonna let his ad read go just because I'm streaming his stream right now. So y'all log on to aura.com and do whatever he's telling you to do.
Are on the rise. As you know, in today's digital age, a lot of legal cases can hinge on data security, whether it's protecting sensitive client information, defending against cyber threats, or navigating the legal complexities of privacy laws. That's where Aura comes in. They provide top-notch security solutions that help protect your online presence from hackers, data theft, and unauthorized access. Whether you're a small business, a freelancer, or just someone who wants to secure their personal data, Aura has your back with cutting-edge encryption, secure browsing tools, and 24/7 monitoring. It's exactly the kind of protection you need if you're involved in a case where sensitive information is at stake. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Go to my sponsor, aura.com/brothercounsel to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed. All right. Well, we all know how important the Sally Port video is. And if we were able to actually see what...
That was great, but I gotta say Melanie Little's better at selling Aura.
What Karen Reed's Lexus looked like, what her taillight looked like when it came into that Sally Port, that's going to answer a lot of questions. And we also need to answer why there's some breaks in the footage. So if Karen Reed's experts can get this download and tell us that the only breaks are because there's no motion activated, and the reason why, or help us to understand why when the Lexus actually first came into the Sally Port, there's no video, even though there was motion there, obviously, then people would be a lot more comfortable with believing that what we're seeing in trial is the full video of what they have, and that the Commonwealth is not hiding or putting this information away for people not to see. So that is an important issue of this case. So let's see what Hank Brennan's response is. And then we're going to be also talking a bit more broadly about the Brady issue here, which is, again, going to be the basis of this eventual motion to dismiss that's going to be filed shortly by Karen Reed's defense team. So here we go. Excuse me. This is Hank Brennan's response. It's not too long. We'll go through it, and then I'm going to be giving you some of my thoughts about this response. Now comes the Commonwealth in the above captioned manner and opposes the defendant's motion to recover expert expenses from the Commonwealth. The defendant's suggestion that the Commonwealth misled or induced the defendant to incur costs to have an out-of-state expert travel to the Canton Police Department is a distortion of the facts and has no legal merit. Meaning, remember, part of the motion was that, hey, Hank Brennan said, yeah, we're going to preserve everything. You can come down with your expert. We'll make sure they have access to everything. And, that's why they hired this expert. And then when they came down there, guess what? All of a sudden, they can't find anything. Then nothing's recoverable. So the first thing that Hank Brennan wants to say is like, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I did everything that I could to help facilitate this. Let's continue. The Commonwealth requests that the court deny this motion without a hearing. The Commonwealth has provided the defendant with numerous videos from the Canton Police Department through the entirety of this case. As we know, even during trial was when some of these videos were being shown, right? If my memory serves me correct. At no time has the defense ever made a formal preservation request. Okay, so this is an important part. At no time has the defense ever made a formal preservation request, which would simply mean you send a video, you send a letter saying, we would like you to preserve this evidence. That is a formal preservation request. And here, the defense never sent a formal preservation request. Let's continue. In November 2024, the defense made an informal.
Yeah, but okay, so what he's talking about is a little different. So, but I would think that filing a motion totally supersedes, writing a letter requesting. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, you got the Betero letters, but you don't really have any motions, you know? Betero letters are just a professional courtesy to let the Commonwealth know what Turtle Boy has planned for him moving forward. So, you know, but at the same time, like, but a fucking motion like is like, it's gospel. It's it. Like, we're asking the judge to make this happen. We're requesting that the judge make our request happen. Pokey SD gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Oh my. Right. Waiting for you, Nettie. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Discovery request relative to additional Canton Police Department video. So this is November 2024, just a couple months ago. Special Assistant District Attorney Brennan, Hank Brennan, responded on November 25th, 2024. So we don't know exactly. See how he put a date here, November 25th, and here before in November 2024, the defense made an informal discovery request. You know, when was that? Do we know? Was it November 24th? Was it November 1st? But he left that out. Let's continue. Brennan responded on November 25th, 2024, informing the defense that he would inquire of the Canton Police Department and or keeper of the records to attempt to identify any potential chain of custody of video footage provided and would request any documentation that may exist relative to the chain of custody of surveillance video. So this is a very important part. This is
Kelly
part of their motion.
Thank you so
motion
much.
on this, and which we're going to see probably about the Brady motion, the motion to dismiss based on Brady, is that where is the chain of custody? Why is it when in this case, we always have problems with the chain of custody? I mean, like, this is like the ABCs of police investigation, right? There's got to be a chain of custody. So how come when it comes to every single issue? Okay, I shouldn't say every single issue, but why is it that we keep running into this issue of chain of custody? What's going on with the surveillance video? Who touched it? Who touched it next? Was anything modified? We have to know so that we can start asking them questions, get them on the membership, things like that. So they're trying to find this out, and this is where Hank Brennan saying, "Look, I'm trying to facilitate this. I spoke to the keeper of records. I spoke, the Canton Police Department. I'm trying to figure this all out."
Yeah, he speaks
during the week of December 1st, 2024. ADA Brennan spoke by phone with Attorney Jackson and his co-counsel.
He speaks pretty fast, so there's really no need to speed it up.
Which co-counsel? I'm not sure. When he gets Elizabeth Little, maybe Annette. Who knows who is he saying when he says co-counsel? Attorney Jackson asked if the Commonwealth would consider allowing a defense expert to access the Canton Police Department's camera system, NVR. So that's what they're referring to as the original, the Canton Police Department's camera system. So this is Alan Jackson saying, hey, can you allow our defense expert to access this camera system about the Sally port? We want to see, from the original. No motion or order has been allowed or even filed relative to this request. Okay, so there's no motion. There's no order. So again, there's no formal request, he's pointing out, and there was no motion or order that has been allowed, that this should be allowed, or relative to this request at all. So again, he's saying there's no, he's trying to say how this is just very informal, this whole idea here. ADA Brennan agreed to accommodate the defense's informal request. And we're going to see whether this makes a difference or not, but this is the argument that Brennan is making. Since this is all informal, you see where he's going with this. There's no motion filed. There's no order by the judge that anything has to be allowed, that the defense's expert has to be allowed. There's none of that. This is just kind of, attorneys talking to each other. Okay, let's figure this out. So therefore, he's going to be saying, well, therefore, I should not be responsible for paying her expert's fees. But let's continue. During the phone call, Attorney Jackson expressed concern that the video footage would no longer be stored, and ADA Brennan acknowledged and shared Attorney Jackson's concern given the passage of time. So here we are. This is not Hank Brennan. Again, this is what Hank Brennan is saying. This is not me saying, yeah, I'm sure it's all preserved and you can bring your expert and pay him $12,000 and you'll be able to get that original preserved, video. Brennan acknowledged and shared Attorney Jackson's concern given the passage of time that they may not be able to get that video footage that happened in January 2022. Attorney Jackson requested the Commonwealth refrain from accessing the system prior to the defense's expert examination. ADA Brennan met with Canton Police Chief Rafferty and received permission for the defense to search for video from the Canton Police Department's DVR system. Okay, remember the DVR system is the original system relative to the storage of the defendant's vehicle. That's the Sally port. Pursuant to Attorney Jackson's request, ADA Brennan directed Chief Rafferty to advise her staff not to disturb the NVR video system prior to the defense expert examination. And this can also kind of be thinking, wait, this is 2 years later. 2 years later, nobody touched the system now. What happened in the past 2 years, though, right? I mean, but okay, he's trying to lay out, look, I did everything that Jackson asked me to do. Jackson asked me that no one should touch the system. Fine, we're not touching the system. ADR Brennan also invited the defense to tour the entire Canton Police Station and note all camera locations. ADA Brennan informed the defense that the Commonwealth would have a forensic examiner from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and Massachusetts State Police trooper present. So we do want, this is what Hank Brennan's saying, look, we also want our forensic examiner to be present to make sure that your guy is not, doing anything funny. So, okay, no problem. The Commonwealth videotaped the procedure also. So the Commonwealth was videotaping this expert coming in and making sure that he's not doing anything funny to memorialize the event.
That's what I
The
thought.
defense expert visited the Canton Police Department on December 12th,
So there's video
2024.
footage of this.
It was learned at that time, nearly 3 years after the incident, that the footage on the NVR, which is the original video system, was overwritten, and the system no longer maintained the original surveillance footage. Okay, so far nothing is crazy, right? The fact that the original system does not still have that footage, okay, it's 2 years later. That's not really that's not really the main point here. The point is what are they able to get from that NVR system? If something was overwritten or if anything happened, would they be able to get something like that? Would they be able to get the logs? Moreover, in efforts to identify video footage and chain of custody, AD Brennan visited the Canton Police Department, viewed camera locations, and had a discussion with the retired sergeant.
I got to see what Olivia is saying here. Olivia, what's up? Olivia says, Hank Brennan is a goddamn joke. It is not the defense's responsibility to request that the prosecution preserve evidence, especially Brady evidence. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to make this point myself. The Commonwealth is literally obligated to do that regardless. Right. Okay. See, I love that. Because I was going to point this out myself. Like, that's just Yannetti being thorough. This is what the motion that was filed on February 2nd, 2022, that we read earlier, is just a formality. It's just Yannetti being a damn good lawyer and being very thorough. It's also him being very thorough in lieu of the fact that I believe he knew something was wrong. He knew his client to be innocent, and he thought that there was nefarious shit going on from the Canton PD. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I believe that he knew it the very day that Karen Reed was being arraigned, and he was arguing her bail. I absolutely believe that. So already, Yannetti was in a position where he felt that he needed to file a motion that is self-explanatory, as the judge put it. That he needed to file a motion to make sure that the Commonwealth behaves in an ethical manner. That the Commonwealth does exactly what they're supposed to do already. But just so it's in writing and just so it's on record, that is a formal motion that was filed requesting that they preserve all the evidence. Which indicates right there that Yannetti was ready for a fight.
DGM Petrio. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. No disrespect. Sergeant DGM Pietro served as the officer who originally obtained and produced a video from the Canton Police Department. Sergeant DGM Pietro informed AD Brennan that he...
Right. Never assume the prosecution will fulfill their ethical obligations and make a comprehensive record. Yannetti, good lawyer. Exactly. But it's not like public defender shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many fucking arraignments have you ever seen? Like, I've seen hundreds of arraignments, literally hundreds of arraignments. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Yannetti knew, I believe Yannetti knew something was up here. But yes, you're right. Like, at the end of the day, that's what every fucking lawyer should be doing. Is making sure that the opposing side fulfills their obligations with the law.
Go back up. Routinely would make a copy of footage obtained from the NVR and preserve footage on the department's work server/hard drive, which is separate from the NVR file system. So this is him saying, well, look, a lot of times the NVR is going to write itself over, right? Because it only, let's say, lasts 30 days and then starts writing itself over. Well, we routinely make copies of that footage and preserve it on the department's work server / hard drive, which is separate from the NVR file system. Okay, so we have this copy in the server, in the separate server, and that's where you're going to get most likely the video of the sally port, not the NVR. The NVR writes itself over every 30 days. Right. So prior to its motion for costs, ADA Brennan informed defense counsel during a conference call that retired Sergeant DG Ampetro would routinely save video copied from the NVR onto the department's hard drive. So this is before this all. This is Brennan telling Jackson, and this is defense counsel here, assuming he means Jackson, that this retired sergeant would routinely save video copied from the NVR onto the department's hard drive. ADA Brennan offered to produce a copy of the stored footage. So he says, hey, look, this is the copy that we got. We'll produce all the copy.
And in this motion, Brennan is claiming that Jackson was like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. I don't need that. But if he did say that, then it's because well, that's not going to work. Because again, what they're trying to do is get to a position to where they can definitively, again, another one on the board for me, Trooper Paul, definitively, ding, where they can get his, I just distracted myself. They can definitively tell the jury that the original footage no longer exists. On top of everything else that no longer exists, the original footage no longer exists. So whether it's nefarious or not, the defense can make it seem that way to the jury simply because of all the other nefarious shit that the prosecution's already done. So I think I think the defense sees this as a good thing.
Feed stored footage from the Canton Police Department's hard drive, or alternatively, allow the defense direct access to the hard drive. So we have this hard drive. That's where we copied it over into the hard drive. So you want your expert to get the hard drive, we'll give you that hard drive.
Now, I want to be clear. I think the defense thinks it's a good thing for trial. What they don't think is a good thing is the fact that the money came out of Karen's pocket for that big fucking waste of time. So the Commonwealth should absolutely have to pay for that.
We'll give him access to the hard drive. Giving access to the NVR is not going to be fruitful because there's nothing on the NVR. It writes itself over 30 days. But when we need to save anything, we save it onto this hard drive. So you can have complete access to the hard drive that this retired sergeant, used to copy stuff over into. Now, the defense deferred this offer and has requested further information about the hard drive storage that is.
Olivia, okay, let me read your comment and then I'll tell you what I think here. I mean, who are you really going to believe in this issue? I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous to think that the Commonwealth made defense aware that the video data was gone and they still chose to, and paid to send some. Get real. Okay, fair enough. But to answer your question here, I mean, who are they really going to believe on this issue? Well, if you're talking about the jury, then yeah. But when it comes to this motion to make the Commonwealth recoup Karen Reed's expenses for how they wasted the expert's time, well, then we're talking about it's a question of Judge Bev and who Judge Bev believes in this issue. So now common sense dictates that Judge Bev is going to go, yeah, dude, what the fuck? But common sense also dictates that Judge Bev is going to come up with some mumbo jumbo bullshit that denies the motion.
Is forthcoming. Now, you can say, okay, fine. So you can go ahead and look at that this other hard drive, but still, you cannot trust the process.
Agree.
In how it's saved from the NVR to the department's hard drive. I think that's part of their motion.
Right.
Part of the motion here is that this expert,
you can't trust the process. The process is what's at question.
The way that they were going about saving video from the NVR onto this department's hard drive was not proper and could have altered or changed or deleted some of the original footage, which is a lot of the problem here. If it wasn't done properly, if it wasn't done in the accepted way that digital forensics are done, it is not accepted by the digital forensic community as a normal way of copying and preserving these types of videos.
I mean, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, people should donate to the defense fund just to like make sure that that's an option for them, is to just wear body cams all the time and fucking record everybody and everything. Like, yeah, everything fucking, you're not, fuck you. I want everything you say to be subject to review. Fucking everything.
Videos, that's going to be a big problem. So the defense is saying here, we don't want just what you're going to copy over and you're saying, yeah, well, this is our copy. Who knows what happened in the process? We want to see if there's any sort of evidence of what happened from the NVR.
Yeah, I love it, right? Isn't it awesome? I love how everybody right now, like everybody who fucking like cares about Karen Reed's innocence now is like at fuck it mode. Everyone's at fuck it mode. I'm at fuck it mode. Dude, I got booted off fucking Twitter, dude. I am straight up in fuck it mode. Like, I just don't care anymore. Like, I am speaking my mind because I've been right. My instincts have been right this whole fucking time. And now we're here. And this is a fucking sham. So now I'm in full fuck it mode where I just don't care. Like, I'm just going to say whatever the fuck I want. Whatever my heart feels. My heart feels that Brian Higgins absolutely is the main aggressor in this entire situation. The one that should absolutely be put on trial for the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. I'm also of the opinion that Jen McCabe covered it up. I'm of the opinion that Jen McCabe absolutely made that 227 search. How long to die in cold? I'm of the opinion that Chloe Albert bit Boston police officer John O'Keefe and attacked Boston police officer John O'Keefe during that struggle. I don't give a fuck anymore. I feel 150% comfortable saying that I believe Karen Reed is absolutely factually innocent. I don't give a shit what it does to my channel. I don't care. Like, to me, it's wrong to say otherwise. To me, it's wrong to say that you believe in right and wrong. You have all this information, and you are afraid to say that Karen Reed is innocent. To me, that's just yeah. You're guilty of ignorance, in my opinion. We're not the same. And I'm not the only one. Like, I love that shit. Like, I never heard Olivia go off like that. I love it. I'm fucking here for it, dude. I'm here for all of it. Dude, I'm telling you, the Reeds are in the same fucking place. Like, expect the gloves to be off during this trial. Right. I mean, you're right. Bobby Swain, it should be great for your channel to believe in the truth. That's why I'm here, just saying. Yeah. And that's why I believe in quality subscribers versus quantity, because, you know, I've conducted my channel in the same way from the beginning. I've just gotten a little more comfortable with it, a little better at it. But I've always conducted my channel under the same principles from the beginning, and I've never swayed from them. And so, and I've always grown to some degree. And that growth is going to be slow because, again, you're going to attract a certain caliber of character to your channel versus just a bunch of consumers. I don't need a bunch of consumers in here. I want thinkers. I want thinkers. I want fighters. I want people I can relate to in here. So I'm grateful to you guys. And that's why I'm like, I mean, dude, I could cover other cases right now. I could do that. You know, and shout out to the channels that do. That's great. You know, but I am so personally invested in this. Just my heart is so in this at this point that, you know, it's just something just so crazy and wrong. I've become hyper focused on it. That's it. Like, I can't take interest in anything else right now. But that's just because, you know, that's a symptom of ADHD, hyper focus. I am absolutely hyper focused on this case. Pokey SD, thank you. It's like having the cure for a disease and continuing to give the placebo. The Commonwealth knows the truth, but wants to continue the sham. Exactly. That's what's keeping me, you know, I'm tenacious in that sense, because I'm like, how in the fuck are they continuing this? So as long as they're going, I'm gonna be here, you know. What's Olivia asking me? Will, have you heard about the other case DA Morrissey's office is currently prosecuting? Homicide by argument, Penny McGee, and other railroading. Unbelievable. Is that the one with the heart attack that Melanie Little's been covering? I don't know a lot about that, but already I'm like, Judge Bev is presiding over this case where somebody is being charged with homicide. There's a trial, and they're being charged with homicide because the victim had a fucking heart attack. That's the cause of death, is a heart attack. She caused the person to have a heart attack. That's what makes her a murderer. Are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy. I don't even need to know all the facts of the case. I mean, I'm interested. You know what I mean? But already my instincts are telling me Michael Morrissey, heart attack, homicide. Okay, dirty shit going on. Auntie Bev presiding over it, dirty shit going on. It's crazy. And it's a bench trial. It's not even a jury. It's a bench trial. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to keep my eye on that. I'll be in Melanie's chats when she's going live in the morning about it, I think. But oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll be watching Melanie's streams on that. I'll be watching Attorney Melanie Little's streams on that moving forward for sure. Because that's fucking crazy.
Download this information or copy this information. Did anything happen? Is there any sort of indication we can see? And definitely if there's any logs to see if anybody touched this, right? Chain of custody. We need to see who touched what when. The defense to further this offer has requested further information about the hard drive storage that is forthcoming. The Commonwealth never suggested that nearly 3 years later, on December 12, 2024, that video footage from January 29, 2022 would still be stored on the NVR system. So here he's saying, Hank Brennan saying, look, we never said that this video footage from January 29, 2022 would still be stored on the NVR system, nor did the Commonwealth in any way hinder the defense's desire to have a defense expert view the Canton Police Department NVR. We said, if you want to do it, go ahead. The footage simply no longer exists on the NVR because of the time that has elapsed. Therefore,
now here's where Hank Brennan is good. Okay? Because This is going to be a battle of semantics where semantics will win. Probably. Okay? Because the motion, remember, the motion that Yannetti filed was to preserve the evidence, right? It was to preserve the evidence. Technically, Hank Brennan can argue it was preserved onto a hard drive by the retired sergeant. Impossible name to pronounce. You could. And that's what he will argue. I guarantee you he'll argue that. He'll say, well, it was preserved. What do you mean it wasn't preserved? Of course it was preserved onto a hard drive. But the problem is, and then he's going to say, well, I'm sorry that the original preservation of this footage shows the exact same thing that was shown in trial last time. And they were hoping to see something different. But the bottom line, though, is when it comes to semantics, can the argument that the original footage is not available? There's no way to prove that that is the original footage. Because if the metadata can't be included in that, defense wins this. And then everything Hank Brennan was trying to pull there was just a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of misdirection, a lot of fancy schmancy talk. But at the end of the day, if the defense goes, we need the metadata to prove the authenticity of what's on that hard drive. And if that metadata can't be produced, well, then that hard drive footage is not authentic. And the original footage has not been preserved.
The defendant's motion should be denied without the necessity of a hearing. So this is what his argument is. So essentially what Hank Brennan is arguing is, look, we did everything that you wanted us to, okay? We were in touch. We were having communications. Nothing was formal. No motion was filed. No order was entered into by the judge in this case. So this is all very informal, and I'm doing my best that I can to make them happy, but just nothing can make them happy. That's essentially what Hank Brennan is saying. And we're saying, look, we can give you access to this other server, which we copy stuff routinely and save stuff on. And they don't want that. They want to just access to the NVR system. They just want access to that. Now, that is their response. Now, one of the things that
what Spanky Hanky hashtag Brennan is missing here is you could sit there and cry all day about that. But produce the metadata. That's all we want. We don't give a fuck about what you're offering if it isn't the metadata, if it isn't the original, something that proves the original footage exists, something that is the original footage and something that proves that that footage is in its original form. Bonnie Coy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. But I guarantee you that's Hank Brennan's plan. Hank Brennan's plan moving forward is to say, well, we did produce, but without the metadata, I call bullshit. Because the problem is that we believe that the Canton Police Department is directly responsible for tampering with that evidence. Directly responsible for altering that footage.
Anybody who's been watching this channel knows that one of my pet peeves, especially when you're talking about these type of motions, is the following. When you have a motion, the motion, okay, this is just a practice tip, right? When you're filing a motion, you can't just ask the judge for something and not give the authority. You have to give the judge what? You have to give the judge the authority. You have to cite to some rule, some statute, some case law, some treatise, something that judge can say, oh, look, this is why I can do this. You want something of me? You want the judge to order something? You want the judge to order the reimbursement of this expert costs? What should you do if you're the moving party here? If you're Karen Reed, if you're the defense attorney for Karen Reed, you got to find some sort of authority. And this is part of the issue that we had with this motion initially, is that they didn't really cite any authority which allows a court to grant this motion. And I did actually see somebody posted a video where in other trials they had this. I think it was in the.
This is the fun part of being a layman who's not an attorney, right? This is the fun part of being a layman with common sense who's not an attorney, and hearing an attorney say something that validates everything that you just said. Because I just said that I'm looking at Hank Brennan's motion here, and it just sounds like a whole bunch of fucking excuses, right? And he points out legally why that's no good. And it's simple. He didn't cite anything. He didn't apply any authority as to why this motion should be denied. He didn't cite any case law. He didn't do any of that shit. He just whined and bitched through the whole goddamn opposition. He just gave a bunch of fucking excuses. Well, I said this and I said that, and they asked for this, and I was like, I'll give you this. And they were like, no, we don't want that. That's how that is going to come off to a judge. That's how it should come off to a judge. Why is that good enough for Beverly Cannoni? Now, it may not be. She still has yet to rule on it. But that's all the more reason why she should absolutely approve this motion. Because already the Commonwealth the defense in writing has already presented a more solid case. Because in their motion, they cited all kinds of different cases. But Hank Brennan doesn't even do this once. This is the laziest opposition I've ever seen.
The trial that's going on right now, the ASCP trial. I think that's what it was called. But that was interesting. But anyway, the point is that if you want something, you got to find some sort of authority. You got to cite something. And I don't think I saw this at all in the motion. And therefore, let's flip this around.
Like, you remember there were words used in the defense's motion like, Your Honor must grant this motion. Your Honor must rule in this way. Based on this, and this, Your Honor must do this. Remember I pointed that out and I was like, ooh, Bev's not going to like that. But if they could back it up, then there's nothing she can do about it, right? But here, Hank Brennan's not even doing that.
If you're defending against this motion, what should you do if you're defending? If you're Hank Brennan, what should your first line? What would be my first line if I was Hank Brennan in this situation? I would say, Your Honor, it's very nice. I feel very bad for Karen Reed, but there is simply no authority which allows you to grant what they're asking for. You cannot just make up law your own. You've got to base it on some sort of case law.
I agree with you, Olivia. I mean, I don't think that the defense expects shit. The defense, I think the defense totally thinks that Judge Bev is dirty as fuck. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. I think the defense totally thinks that Bev is dirty as fuck. She's at least biased. At the very least, she's biased as fuck. And the defense knows it. So they don't expect her to do anything fucking right. Everything that they're doing at this point is to get on record and preparing for appellate court. But yeah, right now they're setting up for a dismissal. I pointed this out the last time I was live. They're absolutely setting up for a dismissal. Piney Woods Law and Crime, thank you so much. I'm here in Tennessee with my girls. I don't know exactly where you are, but would love to have a cup of Joe. Excuse me. Thank you for that. I'm home, man. That's but I hope you have an excellent time in Tennessee. And I hope that you and your family are safe and you have an excellent time. But yeah, I was worried about I was thinking about that. I was thinking about how yeah, it's these energy drinks, man. There's the emotions that they're definitely gearing up for emotion to dismiss. Alan Jackson said this to the press walking out of the courtroom or walking out of the courthouse last time. And so I absolutely think that this is exactly what Alan Jackson is gearing up for, and the rest of Karen Reed's defense team are gearing up for. And I think that everything that they're doing right now is working in concert towards that motion.
Cool. And that simply was not done. So that's what I think. If I was in Hank Brennan's shoes, I would have specifically pointed out in his response, which he didn't do. Again, Hank Brennan never asked me for his advice, and neither does Karen Reed's defense team ask me for their advice. But again, I think that this is pretty basic. This is pretty basic motion practice. You got to cite some authority. And if you don't cite authority, then you got to slam the other side for not citing authority. I do this all the time. If they don't cite authority, then the judge can't do it. And there's some great citations to authority that say this specific.
So brother counsel's basically saying, like, once this goes to a hearing, whoever is going to argue this point on Karen Reed's side is going to point out and slam Brennan for not citing any authority in this motion. He's going to go, well, under what authority should you not grant this motion, Your Honor? I mean, they cited no case law. They cited nothing. They did nothing. All he did was give a bunch of excuses. A whole bunch of your word against mine crap.
Big thing that when you don't provide the judge with authority, then the issue is mute. The judge is not able to make a ruling about it. And you can lay out a whole sob story and tell you to spend over $12,000 on something. It's not going to help. You got to cite some authority. Okay, so the defense is saying, well, there's no formal request or anything like that. Fine. Now the question is going to be, I mean, the point is that it's just a sob story.
Now, right? It's just a sob story. I love that shit. Brother counsel's totally validating my shit. It's just a fucking sob story. That's all that is. It's funny because he seems like he may not even be aware of the fact that there was a formal, there was a fucking, they filed a motion on February 2nd, 2022. It was brought up in her arraignment. And he's like, he seems to be oblivious to it. And even if he's aware of it, basically what he's saying is it doesn't fucking matter. It's a moot point. It means shit. Because this guy didn't even fucking put up an argument that the judge should even listen to. No, they did, though. I think it's the other way around, Olivia Nile. I think it's the other way around.
Story. So you're going to argue it's a sob story. The other one's going to argue their sob story and say, we did everything right. No, we didn't do anything right. Okay. At the end of the day, what do you want the judge to do? And why could she do it? So that wasn't done. I think it just wasn't done by Karen Reed's side in this case. And also it wasn't by Hank Brennan, wasn't responded to in that way, which again, I think would have made his response much more effective, much more stronger.
We were both right.
Okay. But anyway, let's talk about a little bit about the Brady idea here. And that's really what this is all leading up to.
Thank
Okay,
you,
who's
Just
paid the
Irish.
$12,000 is not okay. It's important, obviously $12,000 is $12,000, but the more important issue here is if this is going to lead to the motion to dismiss, which is going to, and the Brady violation here. And I'm just, again, we haven't seen the motions yet. We haven't seen the responses yet, but I will tell you this. If Hank Brennan argues this, that look, we did everything that we could, and there was no formal request ever made. There's no formal request, and there's never a motion for the preservation of this Sally Port video. If he tries this, it's not going to go well because the case law is clear. When it comes to Brady material, it does not have to be based on a formal request.
Right.
You don't have to make a formal
They're
request. You don't have to make an
obligated.
informal request.
And that's the point Olivia was making earlier. You don't have to make a formal request. Even though Yannetti did, it's their job. It's part of the justice system. It's their obligation to provide discovery, to preserve evidence and provide it to the defense. It's their job. It's what they're supposed to do. It's how it's supposed to be done.
You can sit there and do nothing. And the prosecution is required to preserve that material and hand it over to you. Okay? So that is just part of the prosecutor's duties. So if he's going to try this type of argument when it comes to the Brady issue, it's not going to go as well. Definitely. Now, when you're talking about this type of thing where a sanction, somebody acting nefariously, and if Hank Brennan can say, look, I didn't do anything wrong, okay, that's the subject of this motion. That's what this motion is all about. And like I said, there's not some such great citations to authority one way or the other, at least in the briefing. And remember, that's what the judge has to base it on, the briefing. Now, it could be if Alan Jackson, if the defense team sees this video, which again they should, they're smart, and the same thing for Hank Brennan.
Thank you, Just Irish.
They're going to
logic.
do some research and try to bring this authority at the time of the oral argument. And you say, Your Honor.
Oh my gosh. What?
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Thank you, Lydia Bell. It's so fucking crazy to me that the prosecution is using defense tactics, dip and dodge, while the defense are using prosecution tactics. The truth. Right. That's the big red flag. And that's the big red flag that's been taking place since pre-trial, the previous trial. Like, when I first started covering this case, I will always make this point. When I first started covering this case, yes, exactly, Olivia Nile, and it's been that way since the beginning. When I first started covering this case, I thought that was fishy. That was the first thing that I thought was fishy about the prosecution's tactics and about what's going on. Like, it's not just the cops, it's the prosecution too. So I was like, why is the prosecution playing defense? Why is all the new information coming from the defense? I'm still waiting to see what kind of case that the prosecution has against Karen Reed. They haven't produced any type of case against her. Yeah, exactly. Liz, thank you so much. In the beginning, the mainstream media said that there was video that she hit John O'Keefe. Some people think it's still including my dad, and still that it's still there, including my dad. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's some. Well, no, I was gonna say some flat earther shit, but that's really minimizing it because you could be right. Like, I know for a fact that the earth is not flat. So that's not a good analogy, but there could be video, but I don't know, man. Because it's my mind starts to think that, like, when you say the mainstream media said this, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe the mainstream media had this information and now they're covering it up because maybe there was video, but they could have just been misinformed. And we're talking Lally lied about stuff that they said that they had. Lally tried to say that in this footage in front of 1 Meadows Ave that Karen Carrie, they looked at her, Karen, Carrie, and Jen, they looked at her tail light and talked about how it was cracked and broken. Right? But that didn't happen. That wasn't a thing. We saw the footage. Like he said, look, it's in this video, you're going to see blah, 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 blah. Then he played the video and it didn't fucking happen in front of the whole world. So, I mean, you might be right, but I just don't know. Other than that, I don't have any reason to think that there's actual footage of Karen in front of 34 Fairview on the early morning hours of January 29, 2022. Now, the thing is if that footage exists and they're hiding it, it would be exculpatory. It would prove that she didn't hit him. So I'm hoping that that's the case. And I'm hoping that somebody will come forward with it, but I think it's a pipe dream. I will not hold my breath for that.
You know, we didn't really mention the authority in the brief, but we did do some research, and this is where the authority says that you can order the reimbursement of these expert costs. I think that's if they were prudent, they would do that. Because again, I don't think I saw anything very clearly in their motion that a judge is allowed to order the reimbursement of expert costs. So that's something that you absolutely need. So you got to do that. And if you're Hank Brennan, you're going to argue back that, look, there's no authority.
Okay, I got you, Liz.
That's the argument that they should make. Okay, but anyway, so that's with this specific issue. When it comes to this specific issue, when it comes to sanctions.
Okay. The point is that the DA's office lied to the local media and the public by saying that they had ring footage of the incident. Right. No, I get it. I understand what the point is. I'm just saying that I don't really I like that's a point that goes without saying. I already know that. We know that the DA lied to the media and the DA's been lying to the media. But the thing is the super chat that was brought up was saying that they believe that footage does exist or did happen and maybe got rid of. But you know, if the video did exist, it would be exculpatory. It would prove otherwise they would produce it. If it showed Karen Reed hitting John O'Keefe, then they would use it. But no such footage exists. Any footage would be exculpatory. It would prove that she didn't hit him. And that would be why they're not showing it. That would be why it disappeared. So, but yeah, they're absolutely lying to the media. I mean, Michael Morrissey made a video and released it to the press that was just full of lies. Colin Albert was not in the house. Shut up. Bullshit.
And about an attorney's conduct, and if I'm luring you into this, this situation, we're gonna have to spend money, and haha, I can just laugh at you at the end because there's no video or whatever, or whatever that you're looking for. Then there can be this type of argument about, look, we did everything that we could, or we were not acting in this sly way, and we did what we could to facilitate this. That's where these type of arguments come in. But again, that's usually only in the backdrop of authority, which allows the judge to do something, and usually it's in the discretion of the judge. So that's something what I noticed with this specific motion in front of us. So we're going to be keeping to look at the docket to find out when this motion to dismiss is going to be filed. I know the judge gave certain dates which these motions have to be filed and the response has to be, and the hearing is going to be. So this is going to be a very interesting issue. And like I said before, this is not just a throwaway issue. This is not just to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the wall. This is something that's actually important. This is a very interesting issue. And we've seen other cases get dismissed because of Brady violations. Now, people don't think Judge Cannone is going to do that. And usually it's an extremely drastic remedy. But if this Sally Port video is extremely important to the case.
She's
It's
going to see
extremely
it as
important. Everybody
just
agrees with
another
that.
motion to
If you can
dismiss.
see that Lexus coming in, if you were able to see that taillight and it only has a crack in it, or if it's completely shattered, that completely changes the whole trajectory of this case. It changes the whole the way you think about this case. So this is a very important issue. It can be either be inculpatory or it can be exculpatory. Where's that evidence? What happened to that video? And if there's some sort of evidence that shows that this video was not preserved properly, now with accepted ways that forensic digital evidence is stored or saved, then there can be definitely an issue here. Now, like we said in the last motion, we analyzed some of the law about this, whether you need an original or not, and it comes down to whether you can trust the copy. And that's part of the argument that Karen Reed's side is making here, is that obviously we can't trust the copy because things...
Exactly. You can't trust the copy. That's the whole point. You can't trust the copy. And unless they can produce that metadata, that's gonna be another piece of the puzzle to the picture that they're painting for the jury, what they're trying to show the jury. More shit that just doesn't exist magically.
Keep coming up with these videos. First of all, we get a video in the middle of trial all of a sudden, and it's inverted. And then, there's a lot of questions about this video. So if we can't trust all these copies that the Canton Police Department is having fun with, well, then we need the original. And if you can't get the original because it wasn't saved properly,
and the evidence is no good,
even if there's no formal request to that, it doesn't matter. That's something that the Commonwealth has to do. The prosecutor has to do that.
Right.
They have to preserve it without any sort of request. And they have to preserve it in a way that's accepted, right, by the industry. So that's why this issue is I think, a very interesting and very important issue. And that's not the only reason that they're going to be filing this motion to dismiss. So again, we're going to be following the docket and seeing about this motion to dismiss. Of course, we'll try to do some research on it as it comes down and to see whether there's actually some merit. And we're going to see what the response by Hank Brennan is going to be. So I think very, very interesting issue and still something that we have to see about. So that's going to be it for today. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, and we will see you next time.
Hell yeah, man. Make sure to check out.
That is where we have Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth making some remarks. Let's listen in right now on Live Now from 5.
I can tell you this, because...
Oh, shut up. Make sure to subscribe to Brother Counsel. Make sure to like the video. I'm dropping it in the chat right now. Now... phone lines are now open, folks. If anybody wants to call in. Right. They didn't log evidence. They didn't record statements. They didn't have statements signed. I mean, everything that's like the whole thing is the whole investigation. There's everything's wrong with the investigation and nothing was done right. Literally everything.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Well, my name's Bridge. How are you?
I'm doing good. Where are you calling from?
Australia.
Australia, down under. How are you?
Actually, really down under. We live on a remote island.
Oh wow!
We ran away.
Nice. I'm sure there's
So
a lot
does
of people
Karen
who
Reed-
envy you. I'm sure there's a lot of people who envy you right now.
Yeah, we're off grid, mate. We've got our own eggs.
Nice. Exactly.
I thought today was a good day to call, actually, because when you played that clip from Australia early on with the lady who
Was that Australian?
got
I
dogged.
couldn't tell if it was Australian
Yeah, that
or if it was okay.
Yeah, that was Australian. It was really funny, and I used to be in radio, and we did a competition who could do the best Chewbacca to give them $100.
Oh wow, I love it. Yeah. I love it, dude.
Oh,
That shit fucking
gosh.
killed me, dude. I was laughing so hard. Like, I was like, that's just the best troll of all time. It's amazing. What's up,
Oh,
buddy?
it's classic when that happened, and I saw it on the news that night. I'm like, oh, that's just radio gold. That's perfect for tomorrow. Anyway, dude, nice to speak to you. My hubby and I, we watch you every day, all the way down here on this crazy little island, and you're just doing an incredible job. And I tell you what, you've got the game Jenga there, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's like, isn't it? Just like a big game of Jenga, and they're just pulling out. The defense are just pulling out a bit more of the tower.
Yeah. Okay.
pulling it out.
Now I'm seeing the analogy. Okay. I needed you to be a little more specific, but now I get the analogy. Yes, I agree with you. It's very
Yeah.
much a game of
Just-
Jenga.
Yeah. And is it going to be the Morrissey one, or is it going to be the, which piece is
Which
come
piece?
out, and when is it going to crumble? I mean, it is the.
And it's what's
Yeah.
funny is it's more like a game of Jenga because it is like the person pulling the pieces is the one who loses. So like it's the prosecution.
good one.
They're screwing up their own case because they don't have one. All their lies are coming. So every time they lie, they're pulling boom right here, and then the defense shows that they're lying.
Good
So
one. You're right.
yeah. So the prosecution is just a matter of time before they pull the wrong block, and their whole case crumbles. Yeah,
But it's a solid tower when it's all one, isn't it?
sure is. Or at least it
So I wonder
appears
how
to
long
be.
that. Yeah.
Man, you know what? There
Yeah,
was another movie that used that analogy too, like physically used the analogy. It was The Big Short, talking about the housing market in 2008. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, with Kevin Spacey.
No, Kevin Spacey wasn't in that.
Oh, okay.
It was Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, Brad Pitt, and a bunch of people that I never heard of were in it too.
Yeah,
a bunch of people I've seen in other stuff, but I don't know their names.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one. I haven't.
But it's funny because
Speaking
the
of
whole
movies,
purpose of it, the whole purpose of that Jenga scene was to explain to the viewer, because I don't understand finance. I don't understand how money works, man. I've never had any of it, so I don't know. So I don't understand how this shit works, and I don't understand how the housing market works. I've never bought a house. I've never been in the market for a house, nothing like that. So I didn't understand it. So the makers of the movie knew this. So they had these really cool creative ways of getting things, of getting you to understand this. So as Ryan Gosling is giving this explanation with the Jenga tower, he also gets like they also throw in this piece of Anthony Bourdain giving this whole other metaphor explaining what they're talking about, which was just great. And I still had to watch the movie like 3 times before I understood it. But it was
that's how
they
you
really
learn.
dumb it down. Yeah, they really dumb it down.
Well, analogies are the way to go. That's how, my hubby and I both are like that. We both go, all right, if you're in this situation, blah, blah, blah. And excuse me, the first thing I thought of was the Jenga. But speaking of movies, right, I have to tell you this because I know you love this movie, but every time I've seen Matt McCabe, I'm like, who does he look like? What is it? It's those pursed lips on the stand. He always looks like he's had a few. He's just got this look about him. And I figured it out. Well, in my opinion, anyway. It's Vincent Vega when he's off his head. John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. He's got that same mouth.
Vincent Vega. Oh man, yeah, I thought you were going to say something better than that, man. Don't compare him to the coolness of Vincent Vega.
Oh, I know.
Don't do
He's
that.
not cool. If it's
But
just
I don't.
physicality, you look at his mouth.
I see what you're. I see what you're talking about. Like when he's like when he's practically nodding off. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, I'll let you get back to other people, but I'd just like to say I was trying to figure out it was my dad's anniversary of his passing 3 years ago the other day, and I realised it's the same day as John O'Keefe, the same year,
Oh,
everything,
wow.
and he was another good Irishman, another really good Irishman that we lost, and at the exact time. How's that? On the exact
I'm
day.
sorry to hear that.
Hey, look, he lived a good, full life. He was in his 80s. He was the most eccentric Irishman you'd ever meet, and he had a full life, and John O'Keefe didn't. He was robbed. So,
Agreed.
you know, it's an incredible case, and you know the corruption is deep to the marrow in this. You know,
It's crazy.
and you know the got a strong justice gene like you do, and it's like fuck this. Let's, you know, as Turtle Boy will say, let's fuck. We're all behind you, Karen. This is the biggest orgy you've ever had.
Yeah.
Let's fuck.
Totally. I mean, that's where I'm at
Right.
now. That's where I'm at now. Like, I feel 100% comfortable calling anybody who says Karen Reed is guilty at this point with the evidence that we have just plain fucking retarded. You're a fucking dummy. Seriously.
Yeah, that's right. The Canton Illuminati are going down.
You should go get a CAT scan or something, you know, just to make sure that it's not your fault, you know. Otherwise, you're just an ignorant fucking asshole, you know. Like, unless you got brain damage, and you're just an ignorant fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't get it. It's just that, you know, it happens in all kinds of cases with people with their religion, their beliefs, their whatever. There is no movement. There's no room. There is no consolation or, you know, remorse or taking accountability of just putting your hand up and going, oh, okay. Just in general in life of going, fucked up. I'm human. We all do. That's the utopian world anyway. But
Agreed.
Well, I'll let you go, mate. And stoked I got through. We're in the future here. What day is it here? Tuesday at about 1 in the afternoon.
It's still Monday here for another hour and a half.
Well, Tuesday, nothing big's happened yet. You're right.
All right. Thanks for calling. Thank you so much. Be careful down under. Watch out for the crocs.
Always, mate. Always.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you, bye.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you.
Michelle BSN RN, thank you. I found it interesting when Brother Counsel wanted guests on his channel to give opinions on both sides, and he specifically said he could not find any attorney to defend the prosecution. Speaks volumes. That is a great point. Yeah, that does speak volumes. That absolutely speaks volumes.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you.
Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain. I love it. It's called Nummies. He and Brian Albert were chewing their own mouths off. John, I see what you're talking about. Jen M's eyes bugging out like she did a nosedive in an 8-ball. So I guess you guys in Boston call it nummies when people on blow are sitting there after they do one of these. After they do one of these and go, oh my goodness.
I like it.
So just after that, this is called the nummies. I love it, bro. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you.
Free Karen Reed 2024. Thank you so much. Hey, Will, just saying hi and reminding you that you're appreciated. Thank you so much. Wow, that's so sweet. Thank you. Michelle Smith gifted 5 memberships out. Is that it? No.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
You know why? You know why the trolls probably hate me, bro? Because they're probably a bunch of fucking cokeheads that sit there, fucking hate watching me, and then when it comes time to try to go to sleep, I remember those nights. I remember it being like fucking 4 a.m. and fucking shit just playing in my head over and over again, and then some fucking butterhead just laying there talking about, I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. Shut up! I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. It's just playing in their head over and over and over again. They just can't fall asleep. I love it. I love it. Drink it in, you fucks. Drink it in. Oh my goodness.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
And the fact that the Google search is still even a goddamn thing. The tools are just that, tools. They aren't AI and just created that 227 search out of thin air. Agreed. Exactly, Lydia Bell. Thank you so much. DMB22, thank you so much. Can't wait to celebrate when this is all over. Freedom for Karen Reed, Justice for John. I got something in mind for that, but it's, again, still very much in its conceptual phases. I got something definitely in mind for that, though. Hey, listen, man. I covered the super chats, bro. Y'all are just gonna have to calm down.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. All right. I guess Kelly just wanted us to know that it's Kelly.
No, I was going to ask a question.
Okay, what's your question, Kelly?
So here's my question. My question is, first of all, I'll make it quick because I know there's a lot of other people that are trying to get through. This is my first call ever to any kind of YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I know this is a big deal for me. Yeah, I know. And it's like I called 50 times. But anyway, so my question is, can they, the defense, ask the FBI to give them a digital expert to confirm the Jennifer McCabe search? They can call in the FBI. Wouldn't they just say to the FBI, help us?
They did.
And
they did.
Well, the FBI was involved to a certain point, but they didn't have any digital experts that actually.
No, they did. He just didn't testify. But there was an expert who actually went over it and confirmed that it did happen, who had a PhD, by the way. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
No. It's in the TUI report. You just didn't know it because they didn't testify in trial, but it came up at one of the hearings in pre-trial. But it is in the 3,100 page TUI report.
Okay, so any reason why they wouldn't call him to testify or her?
You'd have to ask them. A lot of things.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of things the defense did the last trial that I'm like, I wonder why they didn't do that. But they're the lawyers, I'm not. So,
Yeah, and I thought with the jury hearing that it was an FBI expert, then they would totally believe that the search happened. And we all know it happened. So,
well, that was the thing is the problem is that the jury couldn't know that these experts were even hired by the FBI. The jury, for the most part, thought that the ARCA guys were hired by Karen Reed's insurance company.
Yeah,
so
or Turtle Boy, which was
They took
Crazy.
everything they said with a grain of salt, right? Or hired by Turtle Boy, right? So they took everything they said with a grain of salt. But if they knew that it was the FBI that hired them because they were investigating the district attorney who's prosecuting the case, I think it would have hit a lot different.
I agree. Okay, well, thank you. I don't want to take up any more of your time, and free Karen Reed.
All right, Kelly. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
I'm glad you called.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye. All right. Give it up for first-time caller Kelly, y'all. How sweet was that?
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Will. This is Debbie,
Debbie?
aka Trooper Paul's pirouette.
Trooper Paul's what?
Pirouette.
Pirouette. Okay. All right.
I am Trooper Paul's pirouette in the chat.
All
which
right.
I couldn't do a pirouette if my life depended on it, but then again, neither could John O'Keefe, apparently. But that's besides the point. I have a stupid question.
Okay.
If you come across somebody laying in the snow who's apparently not responsive, and whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, or somebody you don't even know,
I ignore
why,
it, and then when asked about it, I say it's a black blob. Easy. Hello.
Why would you turn around though and say, Google search how long to die in the cold? What good would that answer do you?
I mean, the
Wouldn't
thing
it make more sense to Google search how to treat hypothermia?
But the thing is, the reason why that argument is a little more valid than what you're making it out to be is because the argument is that Karen Reed, in an hysterical state, asked Jen McCabe to Google it.
But if I was in a hysterical state
Someone
and
who's
came
in an
across my
hysterical,
husband,
hold on a second. Someone
Okay.
who's in an hysterical state is not expected to make rational decisions or do things that are considered to be rational. So therefore,
that's not
that
even
would-
rational. That's just
that would
like
be-
it would be
that
so
would be
far out
Jen
of my
McCabe.
mind.
That would be Jen McCabe's excuse for doing it. I'm not saying it's rational. I'm saying an
'Cause
irrational
it
woman
just
asked you to
seems
do
like
it.
it would make more sense to me to Google search that at 2-something in the morning, right after you've put someone
Well,
outside,
it makes more sense to
and
everybody.
need to know how long they have to lay there
Well,
before
right.
they'll die.
That makes more sense to everybody. But the thing is
Because if I came across my husband or even a complete stranger, I'm not going to ask how long it takes for them to die. I'm going to ask what to do to save their life.
right.
It makes it, the whole thing just baffles me.
Well,
as to
it
why.
depends on the context in which she's claiming that Karen Reed asked her. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So if she says,
Oh, I know what you're doing.
like Karen
I'm
Reed,
with you.
if Karen Reed says, "Oh my God, like how long has he been out here? Maybe there's a chance. Maybe he's still alive." You know, if we get an idea of how long he's been out here, could you Google how long to die in cold for me? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that would be Jen McCabe's excuse for that. But that right there is going to,
which still doesn't make sense, though. I mean, it just makes
of course,
no
it
sense
doesn't
why.
make sense, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to yet. It doesn't have to yet. That's when it's going to matter. When she's on trial, she's going to argue that point.
Yeah, it's just.
So
But
it's going to come
how
down
she's
to
trying
the
to blame this on Karen. The Google search doesn't even make sense for Karen, because at that point in time,
But that's
it
the
doesn't matter because you
argument.
can't get them out of the snow
That's-
faster.
But that's the argument. It doesn't. What you're saying. You're overthinking the whole thing. It's all a moot point because Karen Reed is not thinking rationally at the time. She's not expected. When looking back on things that Karen Reed said or had done, we don't get to pick and choose and cherry pick when Karen Reed says something and we go, "Oh, well, she was irrational at the time," and then go, "Oh, well, it wouldn't make sense for Karen Reed to say that, blah, blah, blah," because she was clearly irrational at that time. So nothing that she's going to say or do is going to seem rational.
But
Because
I just like to hear Jen
she's in
McCabe's answer to
she's
that.
in a hysterical state.
And for the record, Matt McCabe looks like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, he does. That is true.
You can't unsee it now.
That is true. That is
But
true.
he does look like Fred Flintstone.
If
All right.
if Fred Flintstone wore tampons and drank whiskey with a splash or vodka with a splash of Crystal Light.
And I still think the biggest one is still Higgins there. He's going to let Karen take the blame because he's such a big man, you know. He's going to let Karen take the blame for his deeds.
I mean, he's trying to let Karen take the blame for his deeds, but
Yeah.
I mean,
He hasn't.
somebody
He hasn't got a quality in his body any woman's ever going to find attractive.
Once Karen Reed is exonerated, then that's it. Like then they're going to be looking for somebody to hold accountable for this. My money's on Higgins. All right, so I'm going to take the next caller. Thank you for calling, Kelly. I appreciate you.
It's Debbie, not Kelly, but that's okay.
Debbie, I'm sorry. Kelly. Sorry about that, Debbie.
That's okay.
All right.
I'll forgive you. It's a senior moment, apparently.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Call from
Bonnie.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God. Hi, Will.
Hi. Who's
Sorry, I
this?
was in the middle of taking a sip of my water. Hey, it's Bonnie.
Bonnie. Where are you calling from, Bonnie?
Rainham, Massachusetts, Norfolk area.
Norfolk area in Massachusetts. I love it. What's up?
Quick question. I've talked to you before, but I had I saw a question on Justice for John.
Okay.
Somebody said that Jen went in the house after the police arrived. Remember when you see her go around the cruiser?
Yeah.
On the dash cam?
Right.
She goes in the house at 6:23 in the morning.
Right.
And that's supposedly when she Googled how long to die in the snow or the cold. But when she was on the stand, she said Karen was in the back seat with her when she Googled that.
Right.
But apparently,
well, and nobody else ever testified that the two of them were sitting in the back seat of any car together. You know?
Right.
Right.
But I saw somewhere
that was literally
today,
only Jen McCabe stating this.
Right. But somebody stated today on Justice for John O'Keefe that I'm part of, said that at 6:23, she was seen going around the side of the cruiser into the house at 6:23. So why would she be Googling that as she's going in the house? And I thought you had posted, and I'm not sure, I may be wrong, but I thought you had posted the videos of the cruisers when she was being seen going in the house.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it was you or not you.
It was me.
And
I was
everybody's
going over.
trying to figure out.
I was going over a Microdots video.
Yeah. So everybody's trying to figure out where we saw that video of it was like a split screen, and somebody posted that on their live of when she was going in the house and what time it actually was on the police cam. And if she was going in the house at 6:23, she states in court she was sitting in the back seat of the cruiser Googling that.
Okay.
So if she was
possible.
Googling that, so somebody had stated, well, she was Googling that going in the house. Everybody's concern is, well, she's panicking because John's still alive, and that's why she's running in the house Googling that.
Well, the problem
Does that make sense?
Sure. The problem with that is that it enforces her argument that the 2:27 a.m. search didn't happen.
Right, but this is a 6:23 Google.
I know what you're talking about. I'm saying that she would argue that would just enforce her argument that the 620 that the 2:27 search didn't happen.
Right. And but the person that stated this was saying this is the 623 that she agrees she made, but she was in the backseat of a cruiser. But the cruiser dash cam shows her going in the house as 623.
Right.
So it kind of conflicts
Well,
what she was saying.
But she didn't Google at 623. She Googled at 634. Thank you.
Maybe I have the times
Merritt.
wrong.
Yeah.
Do I have the times? Maybe I have the times wrong. But I was trying to research it all day today, trying to figure out who had shown that split screen of her going around the cruiser. And I thought it might have been one of your videos with the time frame of the dash cam. And that's what everybody's looking for, is the dash cam time frame of when she was going in the house.
The 623 is the
when
Google.
she was Googling.
Hold on a second. I can clear this up right now.
Does that make sense? I'm sorry, I don't mean to confuse you.
No, you're fine. Let's see.
I was trying to find it all day, and I'm like, you know what? I think it was Will that posted that.
So 623 is the outgoing call to Brian Albert.
Right.
And then that's when she does the internet search for how long to digest food. Okay, that's why everyone's confused. Okay.
Right. I think the question though
624 is when she
Yeah.
does the how long to die in cold. 634 is when she runs into the house.
But wasn't it right around the same time she's Googling that? Is when she is on the dash cam of the cruiser, sneaking around the back of the cruiser, going in the house, is around the same
There's
time.
a 10-minute
There's Googling that?
no, there's a 10-minute window. Even if somebody's clock was wrong, it's too wide of a window. There's a 10-minute window there. Yeah. So that wouldn't work. No, that theory.
No, because somebody questioned that today. It's been really, I guess, apparently following the case.
Either you're getting that info wrong or they got it wrong.
No, I was reading it today, and I was trying to research who had posted the police cam of her going around the cruiser and what time that actually was. And I thought that was you that posted that.
I just went over the microdots video. I'd have to review the microdots video to know exactly, but as far as the Google search happening as she's running in the house, that's not possible.
It's not 623 or 624 as she's going in the house.
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. 624
No, I'm
is when,
sorry.
624 is when she made the Google search. 10 minutes later, 634 is when she runs in the house.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because somebody was asking who had posted the dash cam, and I thought it was you.
I mean, I went over it, yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, I would have to review
I was
it.
just trying to research that video again to find the time frame, and I couldn't find it, and I thought it was you.
No, just, I mean, it's one of the last videos that Microdots put up, but I'm not sure exactly which one.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Because that would have been really interesting if that was the case.
Right.
All right. I just was trying to find that video everywhere, and I was trying to figure out who posted that video. And I looked through Microdots, but then I was like, I really think it was Will that I was watching when I saw the split screen.
It was Microdots. I went over a Microdots video.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I need to know, hon. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Bonnie.
It was just really eating at me, and I'm like, wow, that would really be interesting.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping. I hope it got cleared up. Thanks, Bonnie. Appreciate
It did clear it up, but I can respond to that person now. So thank you very much. You have the best.
You have a good one. Thanks, Pat.
You too. Have a great night.
Bye.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Liz. I'm sorry to be a pain in the neck. I've messaged you 3 times. It's Liz.
Okay, Liz. Hi, Liz.
I'm sorry to be a pain. I've messaged you 3 times. But what I was trying to say was, when it came out on the news, it was, even I was watching it and I said, oh, that sucks, you know. What do you say? Because they said they had video of it. You know, the newspaper didn't say they did. They said the police had video of it, state troopers.
Right.
So I said, oh, she's screwed, you know. And that's how it was kind of left. And it wasn't really talked about. It wasn't on the news much. Nothing really. Just when she was being arrested and stuff. And then, like, it was kind of forgot about. But other people, like the carefree, you know, little boy doing all that, dove into it, and thank God. But the older people that don't watch social media, me being, I just turned 60, but I watch it. But a lot of my friends don't. They don't have anything to do with it. All my aunts, uncles, they believe the news. You know what I mean? They would have said something in the media if if they didn't have the tapes and stuff, you know. They don't think she's guilty per se, but you know, and she deserves a free trial, but they still think, oh, well, they have it on tape. I'm like, what planet are you
Well,
guys
I mean,
on?
right. That would have came out in the first trial if they had video
Right, but
footage of
I
her.
know, and they don't understand this. My dad did a big.
No, they're just arguing just to argue. These are people who, like, at this point, people who are saying Karen Reed is guilty are, the majority of them are just doing it because they've been saying it and they're trying to save
Well,
face.
no, you know what? But they don't think
They're
she's
going down with
guilty.
the ship. That's all.
Yeah, they don't think she's guilty. They think she has a free.
No. They know she's innocent. Yeah, they know.
My dad was on a trial, and he thinks she's innocent just because of what Proctor said. He thought that was terrible because I was getting him to watch it, and so he did see a lot of it, and he thinks she's. Even if she was guilty, she shouldn't be guilty because of the shit that went on.
Right.
But in the beginning, my dad was saying, you know, the cops wouldn't do that. But the cops have done a lot around here. And he's starting to see this. But a lot of the people around here that trusted them, they almost refuse to believe that they do anything so scummy, you know, just like, I don't know. It's really weird living around here. It's I don't know. It's wicked weird. Can't explain it unless you're really here and you see these people, and they don't think she's guilty. Like my dad doesn't. He did this huge murder trial, and it was pretty gruesome. It was down in the North Shore, the other side of Boston, and he convicted them, and it was mob stuff and all that, and he was there for 3 months. So he's all about trials. So he's into it, and he's into 2.0 now. And she doesn't think she believes it now. But like he said, I don't know why they didn't come out and tell us. I said, Dad, because they suck. They're mainstream media. Oh, no, they don't suck. Besides the fact he works for the Boston Globe. Well, he did, and which now is owned by the New York Times, but he hates them anyway. But I won't keep you. But that's what I was trying to relay to you. It's just weird. They have this weird cult of personality that the media doesn't lie to you. I don't know why they think that.
They're not, because they're not supposed to, and nobody wants to believe that they do. You know,
right? But I know they do.
but now, you know, we got Trump, who, you know, hopefully he's not just focused on political misainformation, but all misinformation.
Right. Well, my father thinks he's a horrendous person because he calls it. He says that he tells people not to believe the media, and I'm like, oh my God, forget it, Dad. Oh, poor guy. He's smart, very smart, but he's 82 years old. He said, you know what? I'm not friggin' changing, so get away from me.
Right, because that naivety still exists in 82-year-olds who think that there's still such a thing as journalistic integrity in the mainstream media.
Absolutely.
You know, it makes sense. There was a time where it was there, you know,
right,
there was a thing.
And
there was a standard at one point.
Right, the boss, especially my dad worked at the Globe, you know, and he had a pretty good job up in there. And he saw some stuff, but no one ever told. You didn't, you know.
Can you imagine that back in 1962, talking about the Boston Globe lies, You know, like
Absolutely.
somebody in the
Yeah.
Boston Globe is going to be like, "What, motherfucker? You know how much work I did
No, yeah,
to
yeah.
investigate this shit?"
Absolutely. And
Right.
you just didn't do that. And like with the boss, that whole boss bit, they were going to show her paperwork. He said, how can they do that? They're going to ruin America. That part he
Yeah,
was completely
isn't
pissed
the
about.
Boston Globe the one with Spotlight? Who?
Yes, yes, that did the priest. Yes.
who uncovered the thing with the priests.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So,
Two
like,
priests were at my
do you think
parish.
they're just making shit up? Like those guys are busting their asses and risking their
Yeah.
lives
Yeah,
trying
no,
to uncover.
my father believed that. You know, he worked there, and you know, he knew quite
Of
a few of the
course,
guys.
but it's just I get it. So, you know, for him, it would be hard to believe that that's just simply not the standard anymore. That
Right,
there's
and
just,
it's terrible. It's terrible.
yeah,
It's
it's
yeah, it's
sad.
crazy.
It's sad, and it's an insult to people like your dad. You know,
Yeah, it is. It's so sad. And for him, my dad's a smart guy, and like I said, he worked, you know, for the Globe. Now he, you know, he's retired through the New York Times. He hates the Times, but things were very different then. You trusted in, like, Chet and Nat. We had Chet Curtis and Natalie Jacobson. They were married. You trusted anything they said. You
right?
just trusted them,
Yeah.
and you know, you can't do that anymore. And it's a sad day. It is a sad day when you can't in the sneaks in their lives. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. Where the hell they're going to school to learn this? But I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey, I'll let
that's a
you
good
go.
point.
I've called you like 7 times since
Oh,
you've been
you're
doing this
good,
call.
Liz. No, you're
People are
great.
gonna say she's a whack job. She has no one to
Yeah,
call.
don't leave voicemails. I don't check them.
Oh
Like
no, I don't. No.
there's like
I,
hundreds and hundreds of voicemails on this thing that
well,
I
you know
will
what
never
happens?
hear.
No, what happens when they say the person is not available? It goes ding right to voicemail, so you don't even have time to hang up. Really?
One of these days, I'll just go over the voicemails.
Yeah,
Just
just go over it
content.
because
Like,
you really don't have time to hang up. By
that
the
would
time you hang up,
literally
it's
be the
already.
only purpose I would ever go over them. That would
Yeah,
be the
yeah.
only purpose.
No, I've
Otherwise, I
never.
don't care.
That would be kind of creepy leaving you a voicemail.
Oh, you'd
I'm
be.
not that creepy.
Dude, I'm looking at Jesus. I've got 707 of them actually.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
people might leave them. Oh,
Yeah.
well, no, they should know better.
707 voicemails.
It's just a live call. And I mean, I know I've not hit the button fast enough, so it went to your voicemail, but I didn't say anything like, hi, Will, it's Liz. Give me a call. Here's my number. I'm up till 4 a.m. So,
Yeah.
but no, thank you for hearing me out. And you know what? You have a great show. I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I love everyone. I love everyone's show, but more into you. And my kids, they're 38 and 39. They can accept you a little more than, they don't want me to listen to Turtle Boy because they think my ear shouldn't hear certain words. So,
I use the same words though, Liz.
But I don't think they hear you as much. Like you don't use it as much. So when they happen to go by or whatever, maybe it just isn't. But it's funny. You're not going to tell me who I can listen to and who I can't. Kids.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I know what these words were. They were invented before you were born.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't treat
But
mom
they're
like
hot
that.
shits. They're good kids. But hey, I'll let you go and I'll talk to you soon. Well, I'll try not to talk so much. And Esty is the best. She is so sweet in the chat. I
Yeah.
would love to. If I wasn't so old, I'd go be her friend. She has the coolest. No, she has the coolest clothes. That's how I would dress. And you know what? She's her own person. Doesn't she seem like cool? Like you
Yeah.
could have go out
She
and
does
hang
seem
out
like
with
a real
her.
cool person. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, you could go out and hang out with her and just have a cool time.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. I hope she hears this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I get the feeling she'd really appreciate it.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Right
You
on.
have a good night, sweetheart.
All right, you too, Liz.
All
Thanks
right.
for calling.
Bye-bye, hon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is great. What's up, LV Cops? Yeah, it's Gonzo, my man Gonzo, saying hello to everybody. It's good to see you, buddy, as always. Yeah, guys, I think that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for everything. Please hit the like on your way out if you haven't already. It really helps me out. If I got new subscribers, I hope that you guys are enjoying the channel and enjoy it moving forward. Thank you guys already for being subscribed. Those of you who have been subscribed, thank you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. It means the world to me that you guys hang out with me like this. And thank you guys also for all of the amazing and generous support. You guys are just fantastic. Just unbelievable. Yeah, you guys are great. And I am starving. But I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.